Hi, folks. This is David Patrick Dunn. Welcome to Outlaw Magazine's Willie Nelson Birthday Tribute Special. You'll hear some great Willie stories from artists across the country who've recorded with Willie, musicians who've worked with Willie, and songwriters who've had songs cut by Willie, and plenty others that just continue to be inspired by him. The impact of Willie Nelson, the music, and the man with the soul of an outlaw and the heart of an angel will be felt for eternity. So join us in wishing Willie Nelson a very happy 79th birthday. Long live the red-headed stranger. This special was produced by Brigitte London. Happy birthday instrumentation performed by Daryl Dasher and brought to you by OutlawMagazine.com.
She don't call it tequila, she calls it the yellow wine. De la planta agave, it don't come from the fruit of the vine. It's a drink of the people from way down south of the border. So bartender, set 'em up, bartender, please take my order.
Hey y'all, this is Pauline Reese, and I'm so glad you just tuned in. I was told to tell some stories about Willie, and I have a few of those that I'll tell on the air and a few of those that I won't. So, first of all, I guess the main thing is when I met Willie, what a wonderful person he was, and you could just tell that he had that inspiration for anyone who runs into him. You're instantly inspired by him, and by the way he is as a person, not just his songwriting, but just the energy that he gives off as a person. I met him when I was 16 years old through a friend of mine, and she took me downtown to a place called Hang 'em High that was there on 6th Street. And Willie was playing, so it was packed. And she said, we're going to go in this back door, and you're going to meet Willie. Completely did not believe her and what she was saying. And this big guy opens the back door. She calls this person, and he opens the back door and says, come on in. And he said, my name's Peewee. Nice to meet you. I was like, what kind of name is that? And so ever since that night, that moment when I met Peewee and I got to meet Willie and the band, they kind of just take you under their wing no matter who you are. I mean, you don't even have to be a singer-songwriter. These people are just genuine, down-to-earth people. And I latched on to that mentality, and that's how I try to portray myself and how I try to strive to be as a person in this industry that is kind of brutal and or can be. So if I had to tell one Willie story, I guess, well, there's the time that we went over and played pool with him, and that never actually came to fruition because we were going to celebrate him being on my album. And I don't celebrate how Willie celebrates. That's the nicest way to put it. And ended up being a chalk outline on the front porch of his general store the next morning. So now the big joke is everybody in that group that does celebrate, they try to, say, hey, Pauline, you want to celebrate with us? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then they say, no, maybe not. Like, yeah, I'm too much of a liability to hang out with you guys. But he told me to just build your fan base one person at a time. So that's what I've been doing. Got 2 kids. And just all of his jokes and work ethic is a really good thing for me to follow by. I think you should always live lightheartedly and not take things too seriously. Do what you're supposed to do, but try to have a good time doing everything that you do. Otherwise, why are you here? This is Pauline Reese wishing you, Mr. Willie Nelson, a wonderful, happy 79th birthday. Thank you so much for 79 years of your friendship, your music, your songwriting, and just having a wonderful person on the earth here with us.
Man, he's all doped up like old Hank Williams. Down the lonesome 77203. Hey, I'm a train bound to nowhere. I don't tire, I don't bleed. There ain't nobody waiting on me. Not a lonesome 77203.
Hi, this is Billy Don Burns. The first song that Willie did of mine was I Don't Have a Reason to Go to California Anymore. And it was a big deal. I mean, everybody's like to have a Willie cut, but I noticed after Willie recorded my song that I immediately got a lot more respect in the songwriting community just by having a Willie cut. So it was a big deal. I appreciate that, Will. And then when we did Patsy, Willie was coming through town, and that's back when I had his phone number, and he said to meet him at the Vanderbilt Plaza Hotel. He'd be on the Honeysuckle Rose, and so I got over there, and there was the bus. And I went on and I played him Patsy, and he said, I like it, I'll record it. And I said, well, Will, I've got a band in the studio 5 minutes from here. We're getting ready to record it with Hank Cochran, and I said, if you want to do it with us. And he looked at his watch and he said, I've got 30 minutes, man. I got to be in Buffalo tonight. So we went to the studio, and him and Hank were talking about Patsy. Hank said, Will, do you remember that night we'd been out all night long, and we called Patsy. It was like about 6 in the morning, and asked her if we could come over and play her some songs. And she said, yeah. I said, you guys pick up a pint of whiskey and come on over. And Hank said, I believe it was in an old green Buick. I pictured in my mind so many times Hank and Willie in that old green Buick. I pictured it so many times. But anyway, Willie went into the studio. I sang in Patsy like 2 or 3 times. He went in and did one take and did the gut string ride himself, and he had to leave for Buffalo, of course. I never seen nobody that quick before or since. I mean, what a pro. Hank and I, we went in and did our parts after Willie left, but I never seen nobody that could do it that good, that quick, one take. Just amazing. And one story I would like to tell about Willie that I'll always remember was I went on his bus out in California, and he was in Santa Monica, California. I sat down across the table from him on the bus and was smoking a doober. And Willie said, Billy, can I get you a Coke? And I said, yeah, that'd be great, Willie. He gets up and gets me a Coke out of the refrigerator, and I thought, man, that is so cool, I mean, biggest superstar in the business, such a nice cat. Willie is the greatest. He's the nicest superstar I ever met. Could be the greatest one of all. I love you, Will. Happy birthday, bro. You're the greatest.
Box of things that remind me of you and everything we said and did before we were through. Keepsakes and reminders of old yesterday, but I can't bring myself to throw the box away.
This is Brennen Leigh, and I remember the first time I heard Willie Nelson. My father used to listen to Willie Nelson, so did my mom. When I was a kid, we would watch Austin City Limits, and even though we were far from Texas, my family had a healthy collection of Willie Nelson records. And growing up, I knew him as the guy with the long braids and the red bandana and the guitar with the hole in it that had kind of a nasally voice. But as I got to know his music a little better, I realized he's written some amazing songs. One that comes to mind is I Gotta Get Drunk. What a perfect description of what it is to have a drinking problem. I gotta get drunk and I sure do dread it, cause I know just what I'm gonna do. I mean, like you have no choice but to just, I couldn't have put it more brilliantly. I couldn't have gotten close to that. So what a gift Willie Nelson has been to the music community, and I'm lucky to have gotten to listen to him.
David Lynn Jones. Glad to be here. Glad to be doing this for Willie's birthday. Happy birthday, Willie. It's amazing to see what you've done and how you've affected so many lives, and mine in particular, I guess, for all the things you did for me, man, was indescribable. First time I met Willie was at State Fair in Missouri. The B. Spears had me come up and meet him after they had heard of Promised Land on a tape I'd sent in a couple other songs, and so they invited me up to meet Willie. And the next thing I knew, I was invited to Farm Aid. Just Willie took me in under his wing. Was a great mentor, and I had no idea at that time that he was be recording the song. And in a few days, they recorded Promised Land, and the rest is at least my history in the music business, because that started everything for me. And Willie was always great. I toured with the band for a year or so, off and on, and they just treated me like family. Took me right in. I was like nobody, but Willie treats everybody great. I could go on forever talking about how great Willie Nelson has been for me. But happy birthday again, Will. I could pick up and tell a dozen stories, I guess, about the first meeting. One of the first things that gave me a real view into what kind of a person Willie Nelson is. They had asked me to join the tour, and we played in they played at Barton Coliseum in Little Rock, and asked me down to the show. I had no idea what was going to go on, and I'm not sure that they did either. But in the middle of the show, or along toward the end of the show, maybe, Willie said he'd recorded a new song, and it was going to be the new single, and it was an Arkansas songwriter, and told them my name, and so they started the song. And about halfway through the song, Willie just stops the song, and he said, "I think I'm going to have to get David Lynn up here to help me remember the words." And he called me up out of the audience at Barton Coliseum. I don't know if you've ever been to Barton Coliseum, but it's the Arkansas show place. Barton Coliseum is legendary. And anyway, it was such a great thing. And some of my friends, who had no idea that any of this was going on, was in the audience, and they was after the show. They were hollering down, "Hey, David Lee, man," and giving the high sign and all that. It's a great memory, And Willie just, did that, to help me and to let me show off in front of the home fans. And he's a great mentor. When we were on the same tour a few days later, in Shreveport, Louisiana, a friend of ours, a friend of Willie's, was having us out to his house in the swamp for an alligator cook. He'll cook alligator 5 different ways, they said. So we went out there. It's just Bobby, the Willie, and B. Spears and myself. And we stopped at a little grocery store to get some some meat rub that Willie really likes to use when he's cooking out, doing the Texas cookout stuff. And this guy at the store makes this stuff, so Willie stops there and buys it when he's in the area. And we stopped at a little tiny store in a little bitty town, it was like in the middle of nowhere. And we go in there, and there's one person in the store, and he runs outside to the phone booth, and in 10 minutes there's like 50 people. The parking lot's full of people, and they just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming. And Willie stood there and signed autographs at this corner for, I don't know, maybe an hour, hour and a half. It went on and went on and went on. And when the crowd finally thinned out, and we finally left, when we kind of worked our way out of the crowd and on down the road, Willie and I were in the back seat. I said, "Man, do you ever get tired of that?" He said, "A long time ago, I got tired of being tired of it. And now I just accept it, and it's just part of the day, and it's great." And I thought that was just, what a selfless thing to do for somebody who's always in the public eye, who's always, the eye's always on Willie, and he's just always, he handles it all. So he's Willie, He's cool. Happy birthday again, Will.
If
Hey, this is Jubal Lee Young, wishing Willie Nelson a very happy birthday. I got to meet him briefly in passing when I was working in Nashville radio. He came on Carl P. Mayfield's show, and it was quite a thrill. I mostly love Willie because he writes incredible songs that are also huge hits, that stand the test of time. But more than that, you have to admire a guy that tells the repressive Nashville system to get bent, goes to Austin, Texas, and becomes bigger than anything you can imagine. And God bless you, Willie. Happy birthday.
Hello, this is Donnie Price. I live in the Texas Hill Country, the most beautiful place in the world, and I was asked to tell a Willie story, and yes, I think I have one that can be told on the radio. Once I got a last-minute call to go play with Billy Joe Shaver and Willie. And my wife at the time and I had plans that night, so she got upset with me. And I'm like, "Dog, I want to go play with Willie." And she said, "Fine." Well, we all know that when a woman says fine, it's not fine at all. But anyway, I was telling Willie about it. He said, "Well, call her." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." So I got her on the phone, handed him the phone. He took off walking. I have no idea what he said, but things were fine after that. So, Willie, you didn't save the marriage, but you saved the day. Happy birthday, buddy.
And I keep on keeping on, unsteady as she goes. I ain't all that damn bad off, as far as bad off goes. And no matter what goes wrong, I'm gonna keep on keeping on.
All right, well, hey, Willie, this is Ray Scott, man. Just want to tell you a happy 79th birthday. And I remember first time I ever heard you, I was still partying in Pampers. But I was back in North Carolina, listening to my dad sing your songs and playing you on the radio and playing old records of you. And I remember you with the Outlaws record. That was a big memory of mine with Waylon and Tom Paul and Jesse and big part of my childhood. And the Redheaded Stranger, of course, you know, and I took all that for granted back then, but when I got into the music business myself in Nashville, I realized more and more what a true pioneer you are, and you did it your way, and you didn't let anybody, you know, make you do different, and for that reason, you are an icon. You will always be an icon. One of the biggest icons in American history, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. And I hope you have a great birthday. I hope you're around for many more to come. We love you, Willie. Have a good one.
Falling into a trap we can't escape. Cause it's 1, 2, 3 strikes and you're out there making license plates a career opportunity. Making license plates in the penitentiary.
Hey, this is Noel Mckay, and I've got a Willie story for you. Peewee Locke, who was Willie Nelson's tour manager for many, many years, was a friend of mine, and my brother and I used to play his club, Pewee's Hilltop, which is still around, although we miss Peewee. One night, we were set to play Pewee's Christmas party. So we sat up, we set up and played, and Kevin Fowler was supposed to play right after us. We were playing our songs, and we looked up, and there in all his glory is Willie Nelson, standing there, and he walks in the door, and he gives me a little nod, and Peewee gives me the look like, get off the stage, get off the stage. So we did. So we hustled our stuff off the stage, and Willie Nelson got up there, and he played for all of Pewee's guests, and got up there and played hit after hit after hit, nothing but all of his hits from all of the years of his career. You know, maybe he was just being gracious and playing for all of these people who were friends of Pootie Locks. And it was just amazing to see him up there doing his show. Just really totally something to behold. It was really amazing. And Kevin Fowler was telling us, hey, I think you guys should go back on and play after Willie. And I said, no, Kevin, that's your job. You have to do that. And Willie was great. That's my Willie story.
Like the river that flows out to the sea, like the songbirds in winter she had to leave. I'm left here with my memory when she sang love songs in Spanish to me.
Hello, my name is W.C. Jameson. I was thinking back to so many great adventures that Willie has participated in throughout his life. I got to watch a lot of them from the sidelines. I remember one in particular. It was 1974. It was one of his early Willie Nelson's 4th of July picnics. It took place out in Dripping Springs, Texas. I was backstage. I was visiting with Donnie Brooks. Donnie Brooks was a harmonica player for Waylon Jennings at the time, and we were standing around out there, and he said he needed to go into this, I think it was a trailer or a motorhome, one of those, and he had his harmonicas were stored in there. He asked me to go with him, and so we went inside this trailer. And inside the trailer, drinking beer and having good conversation. Among the crowd was Waylon Jennings and a few members of his band. Tom T. Hall, Leon Russell was there, Chris Christopherson, Rita Coolidge, the beautiful Sammy Smith was there, and out there were a couple of other people I can't remember. Anyway, introductions were made all around. We chatted for a few minutes, and in the door, we'd been in there about 3 minutes, and in the door walked Willie Nelson. And what was interesting to me, and I think this is testimony to the positive power and this tremendous charisma of the man, the conversation stopped when Willie came in. And it stopped because a man that everybody in that room admired and thought a great deal of, and in fact truly loved, had walked in the door, and they were eager to see what he had to say. And it reminded me, oddly, of what it must have been like when Jesus Christ walked into a room full of apostles and got all of their attention. Anyway, that lasted for a few seconds, and then everybody went back to having fun. But it gave me some insight into the tremendous power, and I regard this as an incredibly positive power of this wonderful man who has made so many contributions to what we do in this country as it relates to music. And I just want to say happy birthday, Willie. This is W.C. Jameson. So long.
Howdy from Rowdy, y'all. This is Rowdy Johnson from the Rowdy Johnson Band out of Tombstone, Arizona, wishing the great Willie Nelson a happy birthday. Willie, you've inspired me to color outside the lines as a songwriter and to not worry about the labels. With a wicked sense of humor and your own sense of time, you've taught me that if it feels good, do it, and if she'll let you, do it twice. So I'll take me some and pass it on. Happy birthday, my friend.
Find me a place where the fields are green and the rain tastes sweet and the air smells clean, with clear blue skies where the eagle flies. I want a simple life. Was a time when water was blue, not black. We could drive friendly off the beaten track, and your congressman might even write back. That was a simple life.
Hi there, this is David Patrick Dunn. I had the pleasure of meeting Willie Nelson in person finally after listening to him for years. It was a dinner and awards ceremony with a group that he got the first ever Bridging Divides Award for his advocacy and conflict resolution without violence. And he received this award right before his 75th birthday. And I got to go to that awards dinner. There was only about 300 people there. It was a heck of a show. Ray Hubbard played, Jimmy Dale Gilmore played, some other folks, and Casper Rawls was in the house band, and Earl Poolball and Sarah Brown. After some music, of course, he was presented with the award, and then to his surprise, a bunch of his kids, there may have been a grandkid or two, got up and sang one of the songs that he had written called, no, there's a Peaceful Resolution. And his kids got up there and sang that song, and he wasn't expecting it. It was good to see him being on the receiving end of being a good audience to a good Willie Nelson song. Of course, the evening went on, and he couldn't help but get up there and play some songs, and he didn't have Trigger with him, so he grabbed an electric guitar, played one heck of a screaming down, dirty, raunchy version of Milk Cow Blues that just, I always knew what a good guitar player Willie was, but I'd never heard him do that, and it was eye-opening. But the best part of the night, well, I don't know, it was all the best part of the night, but at the end of the night, as gracious as Willie is, he stood there until everybody that wanted to come meet him and shake his hand came by and said hello. I finally made it through that crowd, and I was wearing my special peace and love suspenders with sort of hippie tie-dye colors, orange and greens and light blues and peace symbols and some recognizable plant as part of the decoration, but not real ones, of course. Anyway, he commented on him, said he liked him. I said, well, would you be so kind as to autograph him for me? So he did that. I said, well, have you ever autographed suspenders before? And he just kind of laughed and says, no, I don't think so. That's a first for me. So it was a first for both of us. So we had one good evening. That just topped it off at the end, being able to see him that up close and personal and talk to him as if he'd known me forever. So I've known him forever. Happy birthday, Willie.
I love you, how I love you, that I have to leave. I've been strong enough to stay right by your side, despite my pride.
Hi, this is Brigitte London, and I have loved Willie Nelson ever since I was a little girl. I remember reading in Waylon's autobiography that he said, when people in Texas die, they don't think they're going to heaven, they think they're going to Willie's house. I was recording at the Perdinella studio, which is Willie's studio. Pootie Locke came in. Pootie was a real good friend of mine. He's since passed away, but I miss him, as does everyone in Texas. Willie's road manager for many years, and he did an awful lot for me when I first moved to Austin, helped me out a lot, and He found out I was in the studio and came in. He had Willie's bus outside and it was all packed. They were getting ready to go somewhere and he was stopping, picking up something there. Anyway, he ran out to the bus and grabbed Willie's guitar and brought it in. It wasn't Trigger, but it looked a lot like Trigger, I think. And Pootie was saying, oh, he uses this one all the time, you know, backup and such. And he was telling me, Bridget, you gotta use this. You gotta use this to record with. And I was like, I ain't touching that. That's Willie's, you know, I'm not touching it. And he insisted, and so I played it on a couple of tracks. We laid down the rhythm tracks and scratch vocals, and I was kind of nervous about it, but at the same time, Pootie's like, no, you gotta do this, so I did it. A couple of years after that, I was actually playing at Pootie's club, and he came up, and he gave me money to pay the band and to quit playing. I was like, what's the matter? Aren't you liking, you know, how things are sounding? He's like, no. Pay the band, quit, and come on back. So I just did as he said, because you always did what Pootie said. And I went in the back, and there was a whole bunch of people back there. This is like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, maybe even more than that. I don't even know. And Willie was back there, along with some other folks, and was hanging out, and we were all talking and stuff, and everybody was participating in Willie's favorite pastime, and I went along with it there and having some fun. And I'm sitting across kind of from where Willie was sitting on the back of a pickup truck. He was kind of sitting on the tailgate there and talking with some people, holding court. And I was, you know, kind of looking right at him, and I felt as the night wore on and on, I grew more and more paranoid that he knew that I had used his guitar, and I became more and more paranoid and terrified that Willie Nelson was going to be mad at me about that. And I told B. Spears about that years later. B was Willie's bass player, and he played on a record of mine that we did in Nashville, but B just laughed and said, he wouldn't care. So anyway, that's my Willie story. I love you, Willie, and happy birthday to you, and thank you so much for everything you have done for not just musicians, but humanity.
But I've said these things before. Tonight I got this brand new roll of smoke, this bottle I can hide in. When I'm through, I'll use it to dig myself this grave that I will die in. But then again,
happy birthday, Willie. My name is Daryl Dasher. I'm a singer-songwriter. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and we have never met. Although for me, it feels like I've known you my entire life. From the time I was a little kid sitting in front of the Zenith speakers and hearing your voice come through the record player, to the time I was in college and I finally got to see you play live, which I got to do several times since then. That first live concert experience was something that changed my world for good and forever. It changed the way I view music. It really has helped me strive to be better at everything that I do, not only in songwriting but in performance and just regular day life. You've also inspired me. One time I remember I was a security guard at the Grand Ole Opry House, and I remember seeing you outside in the rain for 2 hours signing every autograph for every person that was standing out there with you. It showed where that goodness comes from, that organic good feeling you get from listening to Willie Nelson music. It's the real deal. So thank you, Willie Nelson, for that kind of inspiration and for showing that kind of love for what you do and for the people that appreciate it. I certainly appreciate you and love you very much, even though we're strangers. So happy birthday, Willie. I hope this is the beginning of the best year of your life.
Hi, my name is Tonya Watts, and I would love to wish Willie Nelson a happy birthday, so here it goes. Happy birthday, kid! I love you, and here's a song I wrote about you 10 years ago, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope my dream comes true, me and you. You know. I've been hearing about you since I was just a girl. Your face was all over the place. I'd hear your songs no matter where I'd go. They were always on the radio. You're a true highway band, a Renaissance man. You're a monument, you're part of the land. Father of the peace pipe, let me pass you a line. Texas Twister. Your voice is like history, it unravels time like the beaten leather you wear. Hair as long as Texas, like the kindness and love you always share. You're a true hero gypsy, playing all night in them honky-tonk bars. Signatures on that 50-year-old guitar. Blow me a shotgun, Willie. Let's ride a crazy rockabilly. 'Cause I'm your country sister, and you'll always be the Texas Twister. I hear you smoking stuff that killed off Elvis, but you're gonna live forever. And the songs you wrote when you were just a boy keep sounding better and better. And sometimes I got crazy on my mind. Blow me a shotgun, Willie. Let's sing a duet, rockabilly. 'Cause I'm your country sister. Play me a Texas Twister. Blow me a shotgun, Willie. Fire up the hippie rockabilly. 'Cause I'm your country sister, and you'll always be the Texas Twister. It's your turn. I'm your country sister, man. Fired up.
And hugged and drank like brothers again. Well, sometimes I wish I could go back to when things seemed to make more sense. Between the good guys and the bad, you could tell a little difference. Well, the sex was safe and the smoke was too, except for that beer quad. Yeah, the good old days might not have always been good, but they're better than what we've got. What we've got.
Hi, this is Mark Allan Atwood, and here's my Willie-ish story. So my guys and I were coming back from playing a show in my hometown of Ennis, and we were headed back to Austin. And if any of you have ever been on that part of 35 at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know there's not a whole hell of a lot open. And this was right at the time that Carl's Corner was reopened as Willie's Place, but it wasn't quite open yet. The convenience store part, gas station part was open, but everything else was still not open to the public. But it was the only beacon of light on the road that time of night, so we pulled in. We needed to avail ourselves of the facilities and get a pack of smokes, so we pulled in, walked in the door, all road weary, stage clothes, long hair, and cashier goes, "You guys are musicians, right?" Which, obviously we weren't incognito or anything. And So we said, yeah. I said, well, what do you think of Willie's place? I said, well, I want to see it. So he said, do you want the tour? I said, well, if it's open, we can just walk around and say, oh, no, it's not open yet. I got to show you everything. So he actually came out from behind the counter and locked the door. I hope I'm not getting anybody in trouble. Locked the door and technically closed, I guess, the store for a few minutes and gave us the whole tour. So we walk out into the auditorium where all the big stage and all the great seats were, and we got to go backstage and look at the artwork, the mural that was on the wall, and the dressing rooms and stuff. And, of course, we saw the radio booth where the Sirius XM show was broadcast from, and he took us over to the other little bar. And he said, now, this is the other bar, and this is the only place in the whole facility where we can smoke. And I looked at him without even blinking. I said, I want to see the room where Willie smokes. So he laughed, and he said, all right, let's go. So we walked down this hallway, opened a door that I thought was a janitor's closet, and walked down this really narrow little hallway to another door. And I'm thinking, where is this guy leading us? You know, he's locked the front door. And he opens the door into what is, you know, your average office, kitchen, lounge area. And there's stuff just strewn everywhere. There's paper plates and hot dogs and mustard packets and cigarette butts and ashtrays and poker chips laying all over the place. And he says, you'll have to excuse the mess. Willie and his friends were here last night playing poker till 4 in the morning. I guess we picked the wrong 4 in the morning to stop. And I look on the table, and right there in the middle of the table is one of those standard round serving trays, you know, with the cork on the bottom of it, and sitting right in the middle of it was a pack of zigzags. And I thought to myself, I am going to steal Willie Nelson's rolling papers. And then another thought came in my head, and I said, you know what? Willie and I have some mutual friends. One day we might meet. He might hand in me a little something, and I might have to look him in the eye and go, dude, I'm sorry. I'm the jackass that stole your rolling papers, and I do not want to be that guy. So, on my way out, I nabbed a Willie's Place official kazoo, made a kazoo holder for it on my mic stand, and played it at every gig. That is my Willie story. I didn't say it was funny. I said it was true.
Hi, this is Gordon Ames. Some of you may know me as host of Big G's Texas Roadshow on The Real Deal 93.5 KOOK in Junction, Texas, and 1230 KERV in Kerrville, Texas. There are probably an awful lot of Willie Nelson stories that I could tell. However, for this celebration, I wanted to tell a story that I guess the most important one in my life. May 3rd, 1983, I was dating a young lady, and we went to a Willie Nelson concert. And not too long ago, I was going through some old memorabilia, show date posters and pictures and things like that, and I found this poster. Now, we had been dating for probably 6 months at this point, and I pulled the thing out, and I was looking at it, and I went to put it in a stack, and I flipped it over, and on the back there was some writing, and I started reading it. And basically what it said was talking about how great a guitar player Willie was. And I'd been listening to the guy for, man, I don't know, probably since, I think Shotgun Willie was the first Willie Nelson album I bought. So when was that, 73? So this is 10 years later, and I'd made notes on there about what a great guitar player he was and what a great show it was. But I also made notes about the lady that I was with. What a great gal she was. You know, she was easy to please, easy to get along with, and congenial, happy, always had a smile. And I would make a suggestion, and she'd say, well, okay, let's do it. It was just an extremely great relationship to be in. Well, 2 weeks later, I asked her to marry me, and she thankfully agreed. And then 3 months later, we were married. So that was August of 1983. Here it is, April of 2012, 28 and a half years later, and we're still married. Thank you, Willie Nelson. You laid a great foundation for us.
Hi, my name is Mandy Marie Luke, and I wanted to wish Willie Nelson the happiest birthday he's hopefully ever had in his life. Can you imagine the birthday parties that guy has had? Like a lot of people, that Stranger album kind of grabbed me and showed me what songwriting should be. I think Willie's kind of the goal that we all aim for. He showed us what songwriting should be, what it could be, and what we might be able to do if we're good enough and talented enough. Most of us are not, myself included, but still, Willie makes you keep trying. I hope he has a wonderful birthday, and happy birthday, Willie. Have yourself a good one, mister.
My name is Peewee Moore, and Willie Nelson has been an influence on me since about the time I started walking and talking. My mom and my Uncle Billy were always just super huge fans of Willie's and the whole outlaw movement, but most importantly, Willie's in general. You know, they love Willie Nelson, and they picked and sang and wrote songs and fed us on a pretty steady diet of Willie growing up. My mom was such a huge fan that she had this big painting of Willie on black velvet that she hung in the living room. I mean, just, it was always there, you know, for everybody to see when they came in. She loved Willie Nelson. When I got old enough to get serious about learning how to play guitar, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain was one of the first songs that my Uncle Billy taught me. So Willie, thank you for all you've done, all you're gonna do. We wish you a happy birthday, and from us to you, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. May all your good times never leave you blue. For all the songs you sang and wrote, and ones you're bound to do. Happy birthday, Willie Nelson.